How are y'all doing today, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to talk about the different classes and different colleges, either it be online or in person, or even a vocational school or a technological school. Now, the difference in them is the degrees that you can get. In a tech school or a vocational school, the only thing you're going to be able to get is a certificate of completion. Now, some of those credits can go toward a college degree later on. Now, your associate's degree is a 2 year course that you would have to take in whatever field you choose to take it in. Some fields don't have it, some fields do. If your field has it, you can always bump it up to a bachelor's degree by attending a 4 year college. Now, your online classes are very strict on what classes you can take. For an example, you can take online business management or even a manufacturing management course. Would take you 4 years to graduate, which would be a bachelor's degree. With that being said, you can't take a architectural drafting and design or even a mechanical engineering class online. You would actually have to attend the school for this. Now, the reason that I'm talking about these schools is because I want you to understand the differences in the degrees, the certificates, and the cost of what you're going to go through. The average cost across the nation for a college degree at a course that you would actually attend, that means go to the school itself and sit down in the class while a professor teaches you, would cost you approximately $120,000 per year. Now, that does not count towards your car insurance, food, living conditions, rent, or anything like that, unless you actually have a scholarship. The scholarship can be anywhere from partially paid to completely paid, depending on which ones you have and which one the schools has offered you, if they've offered you any at all. Now, your online classes can cost an average of between $10,000 to $15,000 per semester. Now, the difference in those two and your vocational or tech schools is your vocational or tech school, if you paid for it, which go from anywhere from 3 months to 18 months. The average 18-month payment is around $33,000. Now, the difference in that and going to college is how much money you can actually make. So, for an example, the national average for an electrician makes approximately $26 an hour. But that's also if the electrician is local and he's not willing to travel across his state or even across the country. If an electrician does this, then they can make up to, if not more, than $50 an hour plus per diem. Now, what per diem is money that the company gives you that's not taxed, that helps cover your food and hotel bills and your gas while you are outside of your living area, which that area is normally about 75 miles. Depending on what company it is and how they do it, it may be from your house or it may actually be from the location of your shop. So, for an example, if you worked for a company that was based out of Crookston and you had to go to Minneapolis, Minnesota, that's more than 75 miles. So the company could actually pay you travel pay, which would be gas mileage or even an hourly wage, plus your per diem while you're down there, if you're down there more than a day, plus travel back to Crookston, your hotel, anything. It just depends on how the company does it for real. Some companies even do it where they'll cover your travel pay and your hotel, but you may only get like $50 a day for your per diem to eat on. Now, the reason that I'm bringing all this up because I want you to understand the differences and how long it's going to take you to get your degree, be it an associate's or bachelor's, and get your technical or vocational school. If you're going to high school and you decide you want to be a welder, you can actually go and get your welding certificate while you are in high school, which occurs you no debt whatsoever for your schooling. Once you get out of school, you can go to work for a fab shop, which the average welder in a fab shop makes around $15 an hour if you're just doing regular welding. If you go to a construction company and you start pipe welding, you can make an excess of that, all the way up to $30 to $35 an hour if you're local. If you actually sit down, buy you a decent four-wheel drive truck and a welder, a gas welder or a diesel welder, and put it in the back of this, along with your oxygen acetylene tanks and the tools that you would need for the trade, you can make well in excess of $100 an hour. That's for you and your welding machine. Most individuals that do this end up going to the oil field and weld on pipe in the oil field. Anywhere from 10, 12 to even 16 hours a day. Yes, the job gets dirty, and yes, it does get hard, and you will sweat because sometimes you will be out in the sun. Welding is a hot, heavy job, but you will not have as much debt, even if you had to pay for your 18-month degree compared to an associate's degree, which is a 2-year college program. If you went to a 2-year college, like I told you before, you would spend about $127,000 per year. So if you went for 2 years, that would be about $264,000 that you spent for your associate's degree. If you did it online, you would spend between $10,000 to $15,000 per semester. Most colleges have at least 3 semesters, not counting your summer if you decide to go all year long. So you're looking at around $100,000, give or take a few thousand, for your degree if you went to an online course. But that being said, you have to understand that welding, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, all these are hands-on trades. You cannot learn these by sitting down in front of a computer. You have to be in front of an instructor. You have to learn these trades by doing them. If you go and try to learn electrical work through a computer, you're liable to mess up. You could cause your death or someone else's. So now, with everything that I've told you so far, you have to look at it. So let's go back and do a review. If you go to a 4-year college, you're going to spend a minimum of $127,000. This is a national average per year. So in 4 years, that would be $508,000, not counting your food, your rent, if you have a car, your car insurance, or any other medical bills that you may acquire. If you go to a trade school, which is normally between a 3 and an 18-month course, at 18 months at most, it would cost you around $33,000. If you stepped into the welding trade, electrical trade, or anything else of this nature, then you would be able to pay these off in a decent and record time. I know welders right now that make between $100,000 and $150,000 a year stepping out of high school. You can't step out of a college and make that kind of money off the jump, not for a 4-year or a 2-year degree. In my personal opinion, I would rather go to a vocational or tech school. You can make more money in less amount of time than you can anywhere else. But the choice is yours. What do you decide?